Hi guys, I'm Megan. I am sorry if I haven't got to meet you. I would love to do that. My message is called Love Over Fear, and this is my transformation story of when I was in high school. But first, I want to tell you, do not fear is written 366 times in the Bible, one for every day of the year and one for leap year, in case you need it. So, however, fear actually was like the star of my life for most of my childhood. I did not want to be talked to in class. I didn't want to be called on. I didn't want to be noticed. I didn't want to answer questions. I didn't like working in groups. I didn't like talking to new people, okay? I just was always uncomfortable all the time. I was anxious. I just didn't like it. I was shy, and I would have rather have been homeschooled, okay? That's how I felt. And so a story, when I was in 10th grade, I was 15, and I was sitting at a lunch table with my best friend since 3rd grade, but also some other people that she was in class with. I wasn't in class with them. I didn't know them, and I didn't feel comfortable. And one of the girls across the table, after 6 months of sitting at this cafeteria table every day and eating, she was like, are you like deaf or mute or something? She was like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I've literally never heard you talk. You've never talked. And I was like, I talk. That's what I said. And she was like, whoa, you do talk, okay. And the funny part about that is, that's like not me, okay? If you know me, and when I, like around my friends, even back when I was a kid, I am loud, I'm weird, I like a lot of action, I like people, I like talking to people, I like getting to know people. But fear stopped me from being able to do any of those things. So actually, by the time I was a senior, the end of my senior year, I sang a Celine Dion song, because I really like Celine Dion. That was back in the day. I sang a Celine Dion song at my senior breakfast. So it was like a year and a half later. And so I want to tell you about my transformation of 400 people was in my graduating class. So I sang in front of all those people and whoever else was at the breakfast. And so this is how the Lord changed my heart. My transformation, number one, conviction and heart change. So I started to feel more uncomfortable with not being able to be myself. I started like being kind of sad that I couldn't join in with conversations. Even though I wanted to, I just felt embarrassed or scared. I was just afraid to do that. And I was a Christian. I've been a Christian since I was like 8. And I had been praying around that time. I was like, Lord, I really want you to be able to use me. Like, I want to get closer to you. Like, what can I do to get closer to you? And I want you to use me. And he was just like, Megan, how can I use you if you're too afraid to do anything? And I mean, because there's plenty of times that he would say, hey, you should go talk to that person. Or, hey, whatever, do this, do that. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. That's weird. Oh gosh, I can't do that. Something else, Lord, something else. And he was just like, I do want to use you, Megan. I've been asking you to do things, and you just keep saying no. And I was like, oh, yeah, I have been asking to get closer to you and then saying no to a lot of things. So I feel like he just opened my eyes, and I realized, okay, fear is controlling me. So then my prayer changed from, Lord, use me, to, Lord, take away my fear. Like, how do I do that? Because even though I saw how much fear controlled my life, it wasn't like it just went away. Like, oh, now I'm all better. No, it didn't happen like that. It started with him showing me in my heart what was going on, and me praying, okay, I want to get rid of this fear. So number 2 was vision. Freedom and love was what? So he told me that love should be my driving force. And he gave me a vision of like, what was my goal? It wasn't just like staring at my fear and saying, you shouldn't focus on that, or you shouldn't do that. because you can't just stare at the thing that you don't want to do and think it's going to go away. You have to find, what is my focus? What am I supposed to do instead? And he told me, you need to love. So 1 John 4:8 says, but anyone who does not love does not know God, for God is love. If you haven't experienced God's love, how do you know what it is? And then 1 John 4:18 says, perfect love drives out fear. So that was it. I needed love. I needed to love others. And another one, 2 Timothy 1:7 said, for God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So I was like, okay, I want that spirit. Give me that one. I want power, love, and sound mind. I don't want to be shy anymore. I don't want that. So step number 3 was obedience. This is the not as fun part, you guys. So definitely still felt fear, right? Still felt it. It was still there, but I didn't want it anymore. And so I was continuing to pray, Lord, just please use me. Please don't give up on me. I was just so afraid that, I was afraid, get that? So I was so afraid that the Lord would just be like, I'm done. I'm not going to tell you to do anything anymore. I'm just going to walk away, leave you alone for the rest of your life. I'm just abandoning you because you're not listening to me. And I would just pray all the time, Lord, don't give up on me. Like, keep giving me things to do and keep putting things on my heart. And I really want to follow you. I really do want to do that. And so I started to really listen. I started to push myself. I started to listen to what the Lord put on my heart. And my youth pastor, when, I don't remember how old I was, but when I was younger, I remember him telling us a story of like, when God puts something on your heart, like you don't have to worry about all the details of what he wants you to do and what you're going to say and how you're going to say it and what they're going to say back. You don't need to worry about any of those things, because when you are obedient to the Lord, he's not going to just leave you high and dry. He's not going to just say, okay, go do that, bye. Like, he is with you, and he actually will give you the words to say. In Matthew 10:19, it says that he will give you the words to say in the time that you need it. And I remember that being so encouraging to me. I was like, okay, I'm really trusting in that, because I have no idea what I'm supposed to say, but I'm just going to start being faithful. And so there was times where I for sure listened, and there's times I for sure didn't, but I slowly pushed myself out of my comfort zone and just started getting more comfortable, getting more friends. By my senior year, I was almost kind of popular. Like, everybody knew me as this nice girl that said hi to everybody. And obviously, like I said, by the end, I was singing. So number 4 was perseverance. So there was times where I was just so discouraged. I'm like, I don't want to keep pushing myself out of my comfort zone, or oh, you told me to talk to this person and I didn't do it, and I'm just so ashamed. And and that was just such a big step, is to not give up on yourself, to keep pushing, to keep coming back to the Lord. Even though when I didn't listen, I felt ashamed. I felt like, okay, I let the Lord down again. I didn't do what he asked me to do again. But I still came to him and said, I'm sorry, please use me. I want to be close to you. I just continued to do that over and over and over and over again. And he was just so faithful. And like I said, I had so many friends and had such a good senior year. It was like complete freedom. I was not in that cage of fear anymore. I got to enjoy the people around me. I got to enjoy my senior year. Like, it was so nice. And if you would have told me who I was going to be when I was younger, I'd been like, no, I'm not going to be talking on stage to youth groups when I'm older. No, not going to do that. But here I am. So, woohoo. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think the Lord is asking you to do? Because 1 Timothy 4:12 says, don't look down. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for believers in speech and conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. So even when you're young, you can set an example. You can set an example for me. Like, you guys have such a good opportunity to be a light to those around you. You're in school with tons of people that need to see what Jesus looks like. And you can be used by God. You can be used in your family. You can be used at your job. You can be used at school. Wherever the Lord has you, you have gifts and you have a story to tell. And even just something as simple as a smile or a high five or just noticing people can really change their lives. And you have no idea. So I really want to encourage you guys to listen to the Lord. Don't let fear hold you back. I have never regretted listening to the Lord. There was never a time where I went out on a limb and I did what God said for me to do, and I was like, man, I wish I didn't do that. That's never happened. It's never happened. And I've done it a lot of times now because I'm older. So you got to do it. Did we get the pictures? Oh, yes. Show them my pictures. There I am. Look at me. That's my bushy eyebrow braces days. And that's my friend since 3rd grade. And that was my senior photo. Transformation. All right, that's all I got. Thank you, guys.